This is Grimm's Fairy Tales. Jacob Grimm and Wilhelm Grimm. The Dog and the Sparrow. Shepherd's dog had a master who took no care of him, but often let him suffer the greatest hunger. At last he could bear it no longer, so he took to his heels and off he ran in a very sad and sorrowful mood. On the road he met a sparrow that said to him, "Why are you so sad, my friend?" "Because," said the dog, "I am very, very hungry and have nothing to eat." "If that be all," answered the sparrow, "come with me into the next town, and I will soon find you plenty of food." So on they went together into the town, and as they passed by the butcher's shop, the sparrow said to the dog, "Stand there a little while till I peck you down a piece of meat." So the sparrow perched upon the shelf, and having first looked carefully about her to see if anyone was watching her, she pecked and scratched at a steak that lay upon the edge of the shelf, till at last it fell down. Then the dog snapped it up, and scrambled away into the corner, where he soon ate it all up. "Well," said the sparrow, "you shall have some more if you will. So come with me to the next shop, and I will peck you down another steak." When the dog had eaten this too, the sparrow said to him, "Well, my good friend, have you had enough now?" "I have had plenty of meat," answered he, "but I should like to have a piece of bread to eat after it." "Come with me then," said the sparrow, "and you shall soon have that too." So he took him off to the baker's shop and pecked at 2 rolls that lay in the window, till they fell down, and as the dog still wished for more, he took him to another shop and pecked down some more for him. When that was eaten, the sparrow asked him whether he had enough now. "Yes," said he, "and now let us take a walk a little way out of the town." So they both went out upon the high road, but as the weather was warm, they had not gone far before the dog said, "I am very much tired. I would like to take a nap." "Very well," answered the sparrow, "do so, and in the meantime I will perch upon that bush." So the dog stretched himself out on the road and fell fast asleep. Whilst he slept, there came by a carter with a cart down by 3 horses and loaded with 2 casks of wine. The sparrow, seeing that the carter did not turn out of the way, but would go on in the track in which the dog lay, so as to drive over him, called out, "Stop, stop, Mr. Carter, or it shall be worse for you." But the carter, grumbling to himself, "You make it the worse for me indeed. What can you do?" cracked his whip and drove his cart over the poor dog, so that the wheel crushed him to death. "There," cried the sparrow, "thou cruel villain, thou hast killed my friend, the dog. This deed of thine shall cost thee all thou art worth. Do your worst and welcome." But the brute, "What harm can you do me?" and passed on. The sparrow crept under the tilt of the cart and pecked up the bung on one of the casks until she loosened it, and then all the wine ran out, without the carter seeing it. At last he looked around and saw the cart was dripping, and the cask quite empty. "What an unlucky wretch I am," cried he. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow, as she alighted upon the head of one of the horses and pecked at him until he reared up and kicked. When the carter saw this, he drew out his hatchet and aimed for a blow at the sparrow, meaning to kill her. But she flew away, and the blow fell upon the poor horse's head with such force, it fell down dead. "Unlucky wretch that I am," cried he. "Wretch enough yet," said the sparrow. And as the carter went on with the other 2 horses, she again crept under the tilt of the cart and pecked out the bung of the second cask, so that all the wine would run out. He again cried out, "Miserable wretch that I am." But the sparrow answered, "Not wretch enough yet," and perched on the head of the second horse and pecked at him too. Carter ran up and struck at her again with his hatchet, but away she flew, and the blow fell upon the second horse and killed him on the spot. "Unlucky wretch that I am," said he. "Not wretch enough yet," said the sparrow, and perching upon the third horse, she began to peck at him too. Carter was mad with fury, and without looking about him or caring what he was about, struck again at the sparrow, but killed his third horse as he had done the other 2. "Alas, miserable wretch that I am," he cried out. "Not wretch enough yet," answered the sparrow, as she flew away. "Now I will plague and punish thee at thy own house." The carter was forced at last to leave his cart behind him, and go home overflowing with rage and vexation. "Alas," said he to his wife, "what ill luck has befallen me? My wine is all spilt, and my horses all three dead. Alas, husband, replied she, and a wicked bird has come into the house, and has brought with her all the birds in the world, and they have all fallen upon our corn in the loft, and are eating it up at such a rate. Away ran the husband upstairs, and saw thousands of birds sitting upon the floor, eating up his corn, with the sparrow in the midst of them. Unlucky wretch that I am, cried out the carter, for he saw that the corn was almost gone. Not wretch enough yet, said the sparrow. A cruelty shall cost thee thy life. And she flew away. Carter, seeing that he had lost all that he had, went down into his kitchen and was still not sorry for what he had done, but sat himself angrily and sulkily in the chimney corner. But the sparrow sat on the table outside of the window and cried, Thy cruelty shall cost thee thy life. With that, he jumped up in a rage, seized his hatchet, and threw it at the sparrow. But it missed her and only broke the window. The sparrow now hopped in, perched upon the window seat, and cried, Carter, it shall cost thee thy life. Then he became mad and blind with rage, and struck the window seat with such a force that he cleft it in two. And as the sparrow flew from place to place, the carter and his wife were so furious that they broke all the furniture, glasses, chairs, benches, the table, and at last the walls, without touching the bird at all. In the end, however, they caught her. And the wife said, Shall I kill her at once? No, cried. That is letting her off too easily. She shall die a much more cruel death. I will eat her. And the sparrow began to flutter about and stretch out her neck and cried, Carter, it shall cost thee thy life. With that he could wait no longer, so he gave his wife the hatchet and cried, Wife, strike the bird and kill her in my hand. And the wife struck, but she missed her aim, and hit her husband on the head so that he fell down dead, and the sparrow flew quietly home to her nest.